Good evening and welcome to the Social Services Committee. We know that tonight is a pretty packed night, very full with a lot of information and more than likely questions. We would ask you to be mindful of the others in the room who will also be presenting. We do have some things we need to take care of first. Good old business we have to take care of first, but we're very excited to have you here and to see your presentations. Understand that staff will be letting you know this is a timed presentation. We hope to be able to get pertinent questions in to each and every one of you. And we have a few folks, two of our wonderful committee members that will be joining us virtually due to their work schedules and things. And I see one, yay. Hey, Mercedes. We're very interested in many of the things that you are doing for this year, and we have been going over the paperwork. And we hope that this will be a very fulfilling experience, not only for you, but for us as well. Jessica, do we have a quorum?
Yep. So let me take a roll call vote for quorum.
Yes, please.
Chair Hayes,
Here?
Vice Chair Ngola,
Here.
right. Renee Phillips,
Here. Here.
Yeah.
Ken Rowling, right, and Shri Lackey. Perfect.
Wonderful. As you know, we usually have a virtual vote we usually have people that join us virtually that are from the public. But right now, what I need is a vote on the fact that we have our two members that have to be virtual for this particular meeting. So if I could have a motion, please?
I move that we conduct the meeting with partial virtual.
And a second, please. All in favor? All opposed? And the ayes have it. We're moving right along. See, this is going to be a good night, you all, so smile. You all look a little nervous out there. And you don't have to. We are also interested in having our minutes voted and passed at this point in time because we do have a quorum. And that will be another part of our business this evening. If I could please have a motion for the August 14, 2025 minutes.
I move
I
to.
move for the acceptance of the August minutes.
A
Thank-
second.
Thank you so much.
A second.
Thank you so much. Now comes the point of public comment.
Vote to approve, please.
Oh,
Vote to approve the minutes.
Yeah, we have to
please.
Oh, yes, there was, I'm so sorry. I was so happy that we got it in. May we please have the voice vote to approve the minutes? All in favor?
aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, and we are now moving to public comment. As many of you know, we have public comment not once but twice during these sessions. This is the first round of public comment, of which folks can do it via virtually or in person. Do we have anyone in person for public comment? Not at this time. Do we have anyone virtually for public comment? Pella. No? Okay. So that allows us to get down to the new and the old business of today's, which is why all of you are here this evening and enjoying spending time with us and hanging out. So if I would like to hand it over to staff to outline some of the perimeters for these presentations and help control the timing of the situation.
Thank you so much, Chair. Okay, so thanks so much, committee. This is the first of 2 hearing meetings. Our second hearing meeting will be Thursday, October 9th. We do have on the agenda the agencies requesting funding for 2026. Each agency will have 2 to 5 minutes to present. After the presentation, committee members can ask questions. If there are no questions, that's fine. It's going to be a full night. You have documents in front of you. I actually killed a few trees today getting this meeting, Marion and I, together, so you should have the agenda. The first packet that you have is the staff summary of applications. This is meant to be brief, so it does not go into tremendous detail, the detail that was provided in the applications, but just a brief staff summary. In the staff summary, we do give an administrative review and a staff recommendation and a justification for that recommendation. We're not asking committee members to discuss award amounts or allocation amounts tonight. That will come at the December meeting, so we have plenty of time. But the committee did ask staff to provide a more robust interpretation, analysis of applications and reports, so that is what staff has done. To that end, we also have the case management and safety net report summaries for the first half of 2025. Again, these are brief, but meant to encapsulate participants served, hours of service, and agency highlights. Staff also provided a section for committee members to take notes on the applications from the agency representatives that you'll hear tonight. We also have the case management and safety net evaluation sheet criteria and descriptions. Now, the reports are arranged alphabetically from case management and safety net services, but the application summaries are arranged in the order the agencies will present. So they are not in alphabetical order. They're actually in reverse alphabetical order to give agencies the chance who historically went later in the hearing night to present earlier. The hope is that the report summaries and the application summaries just provide a foundation, like a starting off point, as this is your opportunity to ask agency representatives questions specifically about the programs that city funds will support. Any questions received earlier have been submitted to the agencies in advance, and they will they have the opportunity to address those questions in advance. And again, the timeline is the next hearing meeting in October. The committee's discussion of how to allocate funds will happen in November, and then the actual allocation discussion will take place at our December meeting. I think I caught all of our points, Marion. Yes? All right. So with that, like I said, I will have a timer. Let me turn and say thank you all for sharing your evening with us. I know that this meeting was, you were voluntold to come. This was mandatory, but we appreciate your attendance. Thank you. I will have a timer. The timer does have a soft chime. Hopefully this isn't jarring, but please know at the chime if you want to pause and let the committee members perhaps ask any questions. They would appreciate that time. And with that, unless there was anything, and we want to say that this is a hard process, but your applications were fabulous. We really, really appreciate deeply the services that your agency provides. You all work with vulnerable Evanston residents. You work with vulnerable community members, even if they don't live in Evanston, a lot of you. And your services are deeply appreciated. This process is always a little bit challenging given limited funding. We recognize that this is a time for limited funding, so we apologize, but thank you all. So with that, YWCA is first on the roster for the first time in many years.
Very excited for the reverse alphabetical order. It's great. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Allen, and I am the Director of our Domestic Violence Services at YWCA. YWCA Evanston North Shore's Domestic Violence Program approaches domestic violence in a holistic manner, providing services to survivors while also prioritizing prevention with our school-based programming, community training, and our Alternatives to Violence partner abuse intervention programming. Tonight, I'll share a bit more information about our survivor services that will be supported by SafetyNet. Our survivor services, sorry, that you had a question. Our survivor services are rooted in trauma-informed care, recognizing the complex realities and barriers that survivors face. Our direct services include residential and community-based programming, and our services are available to anyone who identifies as a survivor of domestic violence. Every year, we support between 500 and 600 individuals in accessing critical support services that assist them in obtaining safety for themselves and their families, and provides hundreds more with safety planning and referrals. Our 24-hour crisis line serves as the screening and intake line for our emergency 90-day shelter. While in shelter, survivors are connected with counselors and case managers who support them in developing safety plans and service plans, identifying action items that support them in reaching their self-identified goals. While in shelter, survivors are provided with items that meet their basic needs, allowing space to focus on healing. YWCA also has a 16-unit apartment complex in South Evanston that consists of 1 and 2 bedroom units that can serve as longer-term housing options for eligible survivors. Survivors are able to remain in their apartments and access our counseling and case management services until they feel ready to take their next step. Once they depart our program, those in good standing are eligible to take a voucher with them, setting them up for long-term stability. Our organization also currently has a grant which allows us to partner with Connections for the Homeless to offer transitional housing to survivors where they receive up to 2 years of rental assistance and continuous support from both teams. One of our larger programs in our domestic violence department is based at the Cook County's District 2 Courthouse in Skokie, where our advocates provide legal advocacy to survivors seeking protective orders under the Illinois Domestic Violence Act. Navigating a complex legal system in the midst of a crisis can be very overwhelming, confusing, and often re-traumatizing. Our advocates hope to demystify the courts by explaining survivor rights, assisting in the preparation of court documents, providing court accompaniment, and follow-up support. Every month, our advocates support dozens of individuals in pursuing these protective orders. And with the assignment of our newest domestic violence judge, we've seen a drastic increase in filings, which we anticipate to continue moving forward. Experiencing domestic violence and gender-based violence is deeply isolating and creates uncertainty and confusion for survivors and their families. Continued funding for domestic violence programming is a necessary investment in building safer and healthier communities. YWCA would welcome the opportunity to receive this funding to continue and deepen our services. Thank you.
I'm going to open up for questions from the panel or comments. Well, I have 2.
Okay.
One is you spoke regarding trends. What is the advocates that you have at the Y?
Yes.
And their training for the domestic violence advocacy that they do at Cook County Court? Do they have training? Are you going to expand the training? What is it?
Yes, so most of our staff have what's called Illinois Certified Domestic Violence Professional, which requires 30 continuing education units every 2 years. So they have to participate in domestic violence-related trainings. Our court staff specifically, they participate in a lot of like committees, the Legal Advocacy Committee through the network, Legal Advocacy Committee that is mostly hosted by Illinois Coalition Against Domestic Violence. They seek out opportunities to train about, custody and domestic violence or just any opportunity they can find.
And my second question is, does the Y anticipate expanding their housing throughout Evanston? I know you have the one building. Are you
Correct.
interested in expanding?
I don't believe that's something that's on the immediate radar, but it is always something that we know is necessary and would love the opportunity to look at expansion opportunities if available, if funding's available.
Okay. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you for
too.
coming.
If I could just really quickly, we're having
had
a
a
resource
question.
fair.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, on October 30th. So we're trying to bring together different organizations throughout the community to really show survivors that there's a connected, a community, I guess, to support them as they're accessing their next step. So just wanted to plug that really quickly before I leave.
Well, don't leave yet, because there's
Okay,
one
I
more
did hear
question. From
Can I ask?
Alderman Harris. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you so much. So in my note-taking, I lost track. You said transitional housing for 2 years. I heard with connections. Can you repeat that statement again for me? I'm so sorry.
No, I sure can. So we currently have a grant with Connections with the Homeless through OVW that allows us to provide transitional housing, kind of scattered sites through their catchment area with rental assistance for survivors for up to 2 years.
Rental assistance. Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
I have a quick question, actually. The justification for staff, I guess, receiving the award, it says that the YWCA is requesting 42% increase, which is $15,000, and the justification is for a portion of that to go to the director of DV and the clinical services manager salaries.
Correct.
Both roles are critical, and you explained why. Just the 15,000 is going towards their salaries?
So no, the award would be going towards the salaries. We're asking for the increase in the award. So I think we previously received 35,000, so now we're asking for 50. So the whole award would go
So
towards supporting
all of
it.
the award is just going to those two salaries?
Correct.
Correct, okay, that's why I needed that to be said.
Oh,
out
sorry.
loud. So, if the staff could take a note, or staff or the panel could take a note of that, please. So what about the case managers?
So the case managers we have different funding streams as well. There's one that's funded by the Alliance. We have some funding for, through DVPI, the Illinois IDHS grant. There's different funding streams, but this would support kind of the supervisory just to ensure quality of services and building capacity.
Okay. And they were those two persons were named in the reports, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for answering that.
All right, thank you, Bill.
Thank you. And next, we have, and I'm going to tell you in a minute, YOU. Good evening. How are you this evening? Good, good.
Thought it would be better for me not to read. My name's Teresa Cordes. I'm the Director of Clinical and Outreach Services for YOU. And tonight I wanted to talk to you about 3 significant elements of our program for Safety Net that we provide for the community. The first one I wanted to talk about was our homeless crisis response team. We are the only organization in the city of Evanston that provides 24-hour, 7-day-a-week calls and opportunities for us to work with youth between the ages of 11 and 17 who become homeless. Most of the time, these youth are either asked to leave by their family or they decide to leave on their own. Most of the time, we have our community interactions come through the police department or hospitals, sometimes through the high school, and sometimes actually through other parents in the community who are concerned about children's friends and things like that. We work to either reunite the youth with their family, if that's possible, or we work to integrate them into a more safe environment. Sometimes that requires shelter placement. I think it's important to note with this that it also provides us an opportunity to work with the care team, which has been extremely helpful in helping us prevent youth homelessness. What we're ultimately trying to do is prevent youth from going into DCFS custody unless it's absolutely necessary. So that's one part of our program. Another part is our youth and family counselors. We've taken a different turn with our youth and family counselors. Typically, we serve the entire community free of charge for mental health services. And we have found it challenging sometimes to get parents to participate. Sort of like if you offer a parenting class and the only parents who show up are the parents who don't need it. Those are the challenges we were running into. So we began to work with school social workers and asking if we could come on site during the school day and work with youth that we knew were struggling. And we opened up the floodgates of school social workers who were asking us and inviting us to come on site. Lincolnwood has now asked us to put in 3 days a week and given us an office because the need is so great. We're currently working out of 7 schools. We just added Haven to our list because we had some youth in elementary schools who have now transitioned to middle school and need our continued assistance. So Haven has also offered us space. This has been an amazing resource for us because parents will listen to the school. When the school says, we need this form signed, or we need more information from you, the parents will step up. Where we were having some challenges with that, they were helping us reach some more vulnerable youth. We've also been able to refer those youth to our other program, which is not under consideration for funding tonight, which is our out-of-school program, which also works with vulnerable youth. Before, we were trying exclusively to work with just those youth, to give them an opportunity to work with our mental health services, which was challenging because youth wanted to be with their friends in the out-of-school time program. So this way we were able to meet with them during the school. So we've seen a real increase in our individual therapy with youth. We've also been able to integrate family therapy as a safety net for the family when we recognize that it's not just the youth who is struggling, it's the whole family system that's struggling. The third component that we also use as funding for has to do with our case management piece. Our case management, we provide bus cards, Aldi's gift cards, Target, Amazon, for families who are in crisis. Sometimes they're just short that month, and that's fine. We can provide them with a gift card to help. Sometimes it's a bigger problem, so our case manager will spend time with them, helping them develop other resources for financial stability. There's a lot of food instability, especially with the 18 to 22-year-old youth. We have found that they are more apt to use the refrigerators around Evanston than to stand at a food bank. And also they struggle with food preparation. So we try to find different ways that we can address the need so that the youth feel a sense of dignity, that there's no embarrassment, that they feel they're in a safe space. We also provide bags of kind of like gift bags, but of hygiene supplies. We also give them to different community organizations to distribute, and so that they have an opportunity to reach some youth that we don't. It has YOU information included in that, so that that can also come back to us. I don't want to take up all my time, so I'll let you ask questions now.
Thank you for that. I'm opening it up to the panel for questions. None? I have several. Go right ahead.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Quick question, the 18 to 22-year-olds, those are transition age youth?
I'm sorry.
Are they transition aged youth?
Yeah.
And if so, how are you getting the referrals?
They're primarily coming from the high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're already enrolled in school?
Right, they're finishing high school. A number of the youth actually, once they turn 18, the parents say, it's time for you to move on. And they're not given much by way of assistance to make that happen. And so we are able to work with them on getting housing, work with them on getting jobs and into different job placement organizations and things like that, yeah.
So they're coming from Evanston Township and the day center? And they're Evanston Township Day Center?
They're in Evanston. We only serve people from Evanston.
Correct. I'm saying
Yes.
Evanston Township High School,
Yes.
the
Yes.
general education, and the day center that they have on Hartree.
Yes,
Okay,
we get both.
thank you.
My questions have to do with preparation regarding elementary school and junior high school. When did you all start working with these two entities?
We've always worked with them. We're just working with them in greater numbers now. We've always provided mental health services for youth in the elementary school setting, typically starting second grade through high school. What we have found, though, is from the school's point of view, they need youth starting as early as kindergarten to get into mental health services. And so we are working with the elementary schools on that. We're being really flexible to the needs of the community because we want to make sure that we're addressing the most vulnerable.
And the elementary schools that you're working with now is Lincolnwood?
Lincolnwood, Willard, Washington, Dawes, Bessie Rhodes, I don't know if I said Oakton. We are also working with the YMCA. They asked us to come in and work with some youth after school. Haven, we've been asked to move into Nichols. I'm not sure if we have the staff for that. I think Lincoln, I said Lincoln.
So your numbers for students are
Yes.
going to track to greater amount? Is that what you're telling me?
It is, yes. It should be for our mental health services. The challenge is that we are also doing groups in our out-of-school program, which we will get higher numbers for. Individual therapy, our individuals. So we're looking to see what those numbers are going to look like, how they play out through the year. But we are dramatically increasing the number of individual therapies.
And my last question, out of curiosity, your home base is across the street from ETHS, correct?
Correct.
And your hours there at your home base office, your headquarters office, what are your hours there?
The hours are 9 to 5, office hours. However, when we have different youth programs that go up as late as 8 o'clock sometimes, we also have therapists who will be there whatever times they need to be there, no later than 8 o'clock.
And how many therapists are on staff to deal with?
Well, we had 5, but we just lost some federal funding. And so now we have 4 youth and family counselors and 1 case manager.
Okay. Okay. I may have some more questions later, but I'll submit them through staff.
Okay,
Thank you.
certainly.
Do we have any questions from our members? Go ahead.
Question. So earlier you mentioned that somebody's on call 24 hours. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And who, not who, but what would that person be? The therapist who's on call 24 hours?
It's a good question, yes. It's all of us actually on the clinical team, clinical and outreach team. We take turns being on call. Everyone is trained. Our primary purpose in those calls is we're doing a safety check to make sure that the youth isn't injured. We're making sure that there's a safe place for them to go, and we're working closely with the family. We do an all-day training also to refresh everybody on what all the requirements are. We do this through the state's CCBYS program, and there's very specific rules and guidelines we have to follow since we are not the guardian of these children. And so we have to make sure that we are following what the state requires, yes.
Thank you.
Are there any follow-up questions? Yes, ma'am.
On your justification for staff, you mentioned that you're already reduced by 2 counselors. So
One,
one?
yes,
It's one, okay, so it's not 2? Okay,
yeah. And that just happened,
okay,
yeah.
thanks.
It was through, she resigned, and we were able to say we're not going to fill the position because of the federal, changes in federal funding.
Okay.
Anything else?
Anyone else? No. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
presentation.
Thank you.
Next, we are going to get a presentation from, come on up, North Shore Senior Center. Another one I have, right.
Okay, thanks. Good evening. I'm Maura Warneman. I'm the grants manager at North Shore Senior Center.
And I'm Kathy Honeywell, Director of Senior and Family Services at North Shore Senior Center.
And we're joined by our executive director, Tish Rudnicki, this evening as well. Thank you for the opportunity to discuss North Shore Senior Center's work in Evanston and across the northern suburbs. We're grateful for the continued support and partnership from the City of Evanston, which allows us to provide critical social services to older adults in the community. For nearly 70 years, North Shore Senior Center has served older adults across the northern suburbs. We now reach 25,000 older adults and their families each year through a wide variety of programs and services, including comprehensive wraparound social services, dementia care, caregiver support, education and wellness programs, personal money management, therapy and counseling, and more. We specialize in providing person-centered programs and services for older adults and their care partners, offering a wide range of opportunities and community-based services that support healthy aging. Older adults who receive support through North Shore Senior Center have a wide range of needs, including inadequate nutrition, lack of access to medical benefits, and an inability to provide for the full range of their activities for daily living. Our programs are designed to help older adults navigate the challenge of aging in place, provide opportunities for socialization, and avoid social isolation. We serve the rapidly aging population in North Suburban Cook County, many of whom live on fixed incomes and are facing economic challenges due to the current economic crises. North Shore Senior Center serves approximately 2,200 older adults in Evanston, 91% of whom are low to moderate income, annually through these programs, and we invest over $1.7 million in services provided that we provide to city residents. This work is facilitated by our dedicated Evanston Senior Services Coordinator, who works with vulnerable older adults, Evanston residents, assesses and connects them with eligible benefits, and provides the care coordination needed for them to remain and thrive in the community. This position also works with the city's social services staff, offering insight and resources on more challenging cases. This work is more important than ever as the older adult population continues to grow at a rapid pace. Thank you for the support that the City of Evanston has provided to North Shore Senior Center in the past, and we look forward to continuing our partnership to help older Evanston residents to age in place. Thank you.
Okay. I thought Catherine was going to say something too. I was pausing and waiting.
She's
for
our
you.
expert on the questions, yes.
That's why she and I were both looking at each other like, your turn, my turn. Thank you so very much for your presentation. I'm opening it up to questions from the panel and from our colleagues on the internet. Do we have any questions? No. We don't have any questions. Okay.
Great. If anything,
I just couldn't get to my button fast enough. I'm slow. I'm sorry, y'all. I was trying to push the buttons. There's too many buttons. So just quick question. You mentioned that you serve the greater North Shore area. How many, and maybe that's in my data that I'm missing, but is it predominantly Evanston residents that are getting the benefit of the services that you offer with Evanston funding? I know maybe not in general, but at least with Evanston funding.
Thank you for your question. Evanston residents represent approximately 10% of our social services clients. And as we mentioned, we have a dedicated our senior services coordinator at Evanston. So that position only serves Evanston residents. The funding that we've requested will go towards that salary, and that is, kind of covers the basis of that.
How many Evanston locations do you have right now?
Balaji, do you want to answer that, Kathy?
Because I know the one on Main, but.
Primarily, we see people in their homes.
Okay.
So we see people in their homes. We have staff at Evanston and St. Francis hospitals. We're available to see people at Levy, and we have done that in the past. But our primary location is actually in people's homes.
And grandparents raising.
And the Grandparents Raising Grandchildren program meets at Fleetwood Jordan.
Are you guys thinking about getting an Evanston office, like a Evanston base, or, you said 10% is served right now.
Right.
so.
We've looked, we just need an affordable space. We
I
used to meet at
understand.
the Civic Center, but
Okay,
it's a matter of funding.
got it. Thank you, I appreciate your answer.
Thank you.
Okay. No more questions? Thank you very much for your
Have a good night.
presentation.
Thank you. Good night.
Have a good evening.
I have a question.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Come back.
Just to, hi.
Hi, Mercedes.
I would like to know how many Spanish-speaking clients do you have currently?
We can send you that information.
You know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, Kathy.
That's okay.
We can find out
at
the
least the
specifics.
person-
No, it's a great question. We know 21% of our total clients are limited English speakers, and 24% speak multiple languages. I can look into the specifics for Spanish speakers. We have 17 staff members that are multilingual, and so we often, that staff will be paired with people if they are limited English or speak another language to ensure that they are getting the information in a way that's understandable to them and culturally competent.
Thank you.
All right, for real? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. She said she'd do that. And if we could please have the Moran Center come up. We are looking forward to hearing from you all this evening.
Thank you.
Hi.
Good evening. Good evening, members of the Social Services Committee. My name is Patrick Keenan Devlin. I'm the Executive Director and Youth Defense Attorney at the James B. Moran Center for Youth Advocacy. I first want to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all tonight about our safety net services application, and to share the impact of this funding on Evanston youth and their families. So the Moran Center, for those who don't know, provides free, integrated, holistic, legal, mental health, and restorative justice services to Evanston's youth and their families. From July 2024 to June 2025, we served 1,735 clients, representing 2,104 cases. Of that, including 603 Evanston residents and 683 legal cases. And just as it pertains to Evanston families, that represents a 10% increase over the prior year. With your support, our school-based civil legal clinic prevented eviction in 94% of our cases last fiscal year, preventing homelessness in 96% of cases, and securing $190,000 in direct financial relief for our families. Our education advocacy program served 102 students with a 100% success rate in securing new or improved special education plans and better academic outcomes. And our youth and emerging and criminal defense practice secured release in 87% of cases, a 28% improvement from the prior year. Every legal case we take is a crisis, whether it's a family at risk of eviction, a child being pushed out of school, or a teenager facing incarceration. City funds allow us to stabilize those crises, expand staff capacity, and ensure equitable access to critical legal services for Evanston residents. And I just want to thank you again for your support in ensuring that all youth and families in our community are not left without advocacy and the support that they need. I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cherries.
For the work that you do. I'm opening up the panel for questions for the Moran Center. No? And our colleagues online? That's no. Wow, you've stunned us all. You've mesmerized us, right?
I just talked too long. Thank you, Cherries.
Thank you so much. Okay. Now we are going to talk with Interfaith Action. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's right. I'm so used to.
They're coming together.
They're coming together.
I'm sorry, that was Moran Center's legal services under Safety Net. This is Moran Center's case management.
Case management. And we walked in together.
We did. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known where I was going. So thank you. Wandering around the hallways.
Guys.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having us here today. My name is Kristen Kennard, and I'm the Deputy Director and Director of Social Work Services at the Moran Center. The Moran Center's case managers work closely alongside our attorneys in all of the different, who are experts in all different legal fields, to provide integrated legal, social work, and restorative justice services. I'm going to try to not repeat things that Patrick said and focus specifically on case management, but our services are all so closely tied and integrated. We all work together to collaborate. Our case management services allow clients who are enrolled in any of our legal programs to also receive integrated wraparound social work services, which can include case management, therapy, crisis intervention, and advocacy services. Our staff of 4 case managers served over 100 clients last year, not including their families who also get support once they're involved with us. The majority of our clients have experienced ongoing complex trauma and have layers of needs. Our case managers use a trauma-informed, healing-centered lens to work with our clients to assess and identify their needs, allowing them to lead the way and always be in charge of their own plan. Each client develops an individualized plan that best fits their needs. Some clients are seen multiple times per week, every day. Others might only need to be seen every other week. Our goal is to always meet their clients where they're at. Our case managers work tirelessly to help our clients complete their goals and tasks, which may include enrolling in benefits, obtaining their driver's license or state ID, requesting documents like a birth certificate, social security card, attending social security appointments, accompanying them to court. We help them prepare all the applications, take them to these appointments, sit with them through the appointments, and are sure to follow up with them in any sort of way that they might need following the appointment. In addition to case management, our mental health professionals provide in-house therapy, crisis intervention, and advocacy. We have very close partnerships with numerous other local agencies and not-for-profits, which allow us all to work together to address all areas of need for a family. We've also been able to gauge our relationships recently to create a new partnership with a psychiatrist who is now providing direct services to Moran Center social work clients in a timely, professional manner while collaborating with their case manager and social worker for the most effective care. We truly believe that the wraparound, holistic approach to an individual's legal advocacy requires in-depth social work services and case management services and should be the only way to provide these services. Any questions?
I am now going to thank you for that. I'm now going to open it up for questions. I promise not to cut anybody off, in the hopes that our panel has some questions as well as our colleagues online. No?
No questions from me.
Okay. If any other questions come up, we will submit them through the staff.
Great. Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a great evening. And welcome to the new digs. Now you know where, now you know where to come and hang out. Interfaith Action, thank you so much. Sorry about the misspeak earlier.
Good evening. I'm Nancy Kirk, and I am the treasurer and on the board of Interfaith Action of Evanston. And Sue Murphy, who is our executive director, very much regrets that she could not be here, but she volunteered me to come. So here I am. Interfaith Action of Evanston is an organization made up of 40 faith communities throughout Evanston. And our mission is to support and serve those who are experiencing hunger and homelessness. We do that through several different programs. Our Hospitality Center for the Homeless, which has been at St. Mark's Church for almost 40 years now and provides a place to go 5 mornings a week and breakfast for those who go there. Soup kitchens. There are 9 soup kitchens throughout Evanston. 4 of those are supported and provided by Interfaith Action of Evanston. And the final program, the one we're really requesting funds for, is our overnight shelter. And through our overnight shelter, we are offering a warm and safe place for our most vulnerable homeless citizens to sleep. It's simple. It's something we all take for granted, but they don't. We have 30 beds every night, 217 nights, which starts in about the third week of October through the end of May. We have found that for the past 4 or 5 years, each season, we have been able to add another week, another 2 weeks to we would love to be 365 days, but we're at 217. And so, and we continue having more people on our wait list than we can accommodate. So the need is real, the need is there, and we are doing all we can to meet that need in the best way possible. It cost us a little over $1,000 every night to provide our overnight shelter. And that's with our 8 faith communities that are providing our space free of charge. And that's with volunteers who help with setup and tear down at the beginning and ending of each night. And we very much appreciate the financial support we have received, the grants we have received from the City of Evanston, and hope that that will continue. And with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions you have.
Thank you so much for your presentation and your Evanston work. Do we have any questions? We're opening it up to the panel for questions. Do we have any questions from our panel members here and online? Okay. I do have one question. You said 217 days, but with the weather changes and stuff, do you expand it sometimes or no?
Well, we start about the third week of October, and we go through the end of May. And that hopefully catches, it's the coldest part of the year, certainly.
Right.
But as I said, we've kind of, over the
Because we've had snowstorms in April.
We've had snowstorms in April, and sometimes in the middle of the summer. Can you imagine sleeping out in some of the heat we've had? And that's a whole
right.
other issue.
Right.
But that's why we've been pushing, add a week at the front end, add a week at the back end. We've been working with our faith communities because that's who we rely on for the space to provide the place to sleep.
Thank you. Any other questions? No other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to ask for a little minute. She'll be right back. The next.
Chair Hayes, I'm sorry if I could say, Impact Behavioral Health has requested to attend at the next meeting, so.
In October, right?
In October, correct. So our next speaker will be Evanston Scholars. Evanston Scholars once.
Yes. You didn't hear all of what you had said. Behavioral health was to be next. However, with some more discussion, they're going to move to the October session and present at that time. So that pushes us up to Evanston Scholars.
If I could say, for the first time in my 11 years in this role, we're ahead of schedule. It's never
Don't show
happened.
off now, girl. We still got some time to go. Let's hold on. Don't tell nobody. Good evening. Thank you for coming.
Hi. My name is Elizabeth Tobin Healy. I am the development manager for Evanston Scholars.
Can we wait until Renee's back?
Oh my gosh, yeah, of course, sorry.
You're doing great.
It's my first time
No
here.
worries. It's just a little break and we're back in it.
The only friendly banter I had was we're running ahead of schedule.
We are. The bear always tell me what Evanston's. No problem, thank you. As we had said while you were gone, behavioral health is going to come and present in October. And so we are now being presented with Evanston Scholars.
Hi, again, my name is Elizabeth Tobin Healy. I am the development manager with Evanston Scholars. Steve Newman, our executive director, actually is on his way right now, so he may end up stepping in and giving you some more information as well. But I will at least start by speaking about the programs that we've applied for. So we have applied for safety net funds to support the direct student financial support stipends through our college access, college success, and career readiness programs. Our entire program seeks to support Evanston youth from their junior year of high school through college graduation and on to strong careers. So we serve students aged 16 to 22 who are typically from low-income families, are students of color, and are first-generation college students. Our stipends are a form of direct financial safety net assistance that we provide our scholars, and they help remove the barriers that might otherwise result in a preventable college withdrawal and negatively impact their financial health and social mobility. When a student leaves college without a degree and with debt, it can alter the trajectory of their lives. We know that life can happen, and students from low income or first generation households are often at a greater risk of housing and food insecurity than students from higher income households or from legacy college households. Our stipends overlap all three elements of our program and are direct financial supports for our scholars that are both preventative and responsive to ensure that they can graduate with a degree and pave the way for their growing their generational wealth. The stipends that we have requested support from the City of Evanston are the book stipend, which ensures our college scholars have all of the materials that they need to be successful each semester of college. Our emergency funds, which are our college success and our last dollar stipend, and this provides aid to cover tuition gaps, as well as additional materials that they might need, such as books and living expenses that are not met by other funding sources. We also have an emergency fund, which is a hardship grant, and this offers immediate financial assistance for unexpected expenses, such as medical bills, housing instability, or technological needs. Additionally, many of our scholars request these hardship grants to help fund with the basic needs that they might not have funding for, including groceries and hygiene care and transportation. Our college application and testing fees. This covers the cost for SAT and ACT exams, college application fees and enrollment deposits, and then our internship and career development funds. And these stipends are to help support in unpaid internships, graduate school exams, and application fees, as well as the ability to attend career networking events and support the purchasing of professional attire. Our program has been successful. We have an 80% 6-year graduation rate compared to 11% for first-generation low-income students nationally. We have a 59% 4-year graduation rate, and our scholars graduate with $167 in debt-free aid. We aren't aware of any other program that supports scholars from age 16 through 22 and provide resources from start to finish. We ensure that we are not only directly supporting their financial needs, but we are also giving them the tools to create and have agency over their own education and their own futures. Some of the things that our scholars have said about our different stipends. For our RISE stipends, our career readiness stipends. Since my internship was one of my first corporate jobs, I had to revamp my professional clothes and wardrobe to things that were more business professional. The RISE stipend helped me purchase those clothes and feel confident in what I wore to work every day. The RISE stipends helped greatly for having lunch to eat during my internship on days that there was no food available. It also helped with transportation costs to and from my internship. A scholar spoke about the book stipend. The book stipend that we received is super useful for me, especially as a student that has semesters where I've required 9 books and my family couldn't deal with the financial stress of another student fee that wasn't made clear by the syllabus. Being able to have that support not only allowed me to get the class books that I can use now, but I can also enjoy in the future. For our emergency fund, Thank you for helping me out with the emergency funding. I was stressed and frankly kind of miserable because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to register, much less graduate next semester. I really appreciate everything the program has done for me, especially at the beginning when I was lost and didn't know how to start. This program has been a blessing for me, and I feel like I'll be able to do something fulfilling with my life because of it. Thank you again for all of your support through the years and helping me pay for school. I will now
colleague
open
is
this and
here.
introduce Steve. And
How are you all?
Fine, how are you?
Come
Welcome.
from another function. so-
I understand, but listen, we be running in here as well, on two wheels sometimes, I know I do. As many of our panelists might know, this is a little bit different than what we've received in the past. The grant amount is usually a different type of amount that we deal with. And staff can explain why that is.
Thank you for this opportunity. So, per the staff notes, Evanston Scholars has historically received about $15,000 in CDBG funding in past years. Staff worked with agencies to analyze the administrative burden, both on your end and ours, to manage grant funds and comply with federal reporting requirements. What we found is that often for grants under $30,000, the administrative burden, like you're spending more in staff time than we're giving you. So that is because that is one of our guidelines that we propose every year to the Social Services Committee. Staff does not support this application, or our wording was, that we would, does not support the request. But it is not because of the tremendous work you guys do. You're absolutely serving our target population. You've served the Evanston community for years. I've been with the city 11 years. The work your agency does is fabulous, and it's a really cool model with volunteer mentors. And I think we can all relate to struggling to pay for books and the gap in funds and the support the program offers for juniors and seniors. I have a junior at ETH myself. It's tremendous, but it is for that reason that staff made that recommendation.
Were there any questions from the panel members here as well as online?
Well, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I was just curious, with these grants, is there a max amount that you offer students, in a particular category, or is it just as the need arises, you would grant that?
First of all, again, I apologize for being late. I'm Steve Newman, Executive Director for the program. Thank you for hearing. Before I answer that,
Sure.
so just if I heard this, we went under the threshold, is that correct? And we missed that somehow in the guidelines?
That might have been my fault. I actually was
that's
looking at what we had received historically and tried to find kind of the average of what we've received from the city of Evanston was a range from around 5,000 to 15, and I had noticed that it historically had been decreasing, so I wanted to make sure that we were getting in a range that looked like we would be.
So we could amend to 30,000. I don't know if that's possible. That'd be one thing. But to answer your question, and to hope that you would still consider, we have a variety of stipends. And I think I came in late, so I don't want to go over everything. Really what we do provide is stipends and services. And so hopefully Liz shared a lot about their services. In terms of the stipends, we have seen, especially in the last year, that the requests for emergency funds and what we call hardship funds have gone up. And they've gone up for a variety of reasons, which you all probably could recognize. And they've gone up especially in terms of higher ed. And there's also dearth of jobs on campus. So you combine inflation, everything that we all know about, with lack of funding or decreased lack of funding, especially for kids who are coming back to college and had a certain amount allotted that we've actually helped them allocate for 4 years. When we see the dip, or they see the dip, I should say, in years 2, 3, and 4, we're seeing a lot bigger requests. Did you ask for very specific amounts?
I was just curious because working in higher ed, oftentimes there'll be a 500 cap that the school might do, the dean of students might give. And I just wondered how you all kind of manage your funds and if there's a cap or.
Yeah, I'll just tell you really briefly, I know we're on time crunch. First thing we do is we want students to go to schools to find out money. So we don't want to just dole out money. So our staff is very good about saying, well, have you thought about this or thought about that? I'll give you a quick example, is that actually at an Ivy League school, we had somebody who requested 3,000 plus for emergency funds. And the staff member, on our team said, could you go back to the school? And they granted her no money at all. And she is, a zero ECF kid, if you know, or SAI kid. And so she didn't have the funds, so she came to us. And that's from a school that has a huge endowment, not the one that's in the news, but a lot. So that's one example at the higher end, and we don't have a lot of kids in the Ivy League, but that's just an example that even when schools do have the means sometimes, it doesn't mean that they have access to those means. Yeah, sure.
I have a question as well. You had alluded to some of the internships. Could you outline some of those internships? Because I've been hearing mumbling in the streets that you all have been a little bit of everywhere.
That's good.
We've had a variety of internships, and I actually had the privilege of being able to hear a few of our scholars speak about their internship experience this summer. So we had one scholar was interning with Avid. We had another scholar interning with Rush. We had a scholar with the Moran Center as well. There's really a wide variety. Evanston Grows. So our scholars are not only, they're going out into the world, into college, and they're coming back and they're giving back to their community, their local communities. So it's really a wide variety. Steve, you want to speak more about that?
Yeah, so corporations, but not just corporations. We really try to work with kids in terms of their interests to develop that. And or as you all probably know, sometimes even as sophomores, we don't really know what we want to do. So we're also okay about nudging into the experiences that will help them figure out not only what they want to do, but maybe what they don't want to do. So I don't know if that answered your question, though.
It sure did.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Do you have any other questions?
Hey, I have a quick question. I'm trying to pose it correctly. So I know I saw in here that you turned away a couple or wherever I saw that. How did you help them in the end? Because I'm sure you resourced those folks out, those kids out. But so what did they end up doing?
I think if I'm anticipating your question, it's or hearing your question, like students who didn't get into our program?
Correct.
Okay, and help them with resources? Well, we stick to our criteria, and I know you're not exactly answering that. We do a due diligence as we think, not just looking at the applications, but also interviews. And unfortunately, there are kids who meet our criteria that sometimes we can't, because of our capacity, work with those students.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what you're referring to.
I am.
Yeah.
referring
We've
to
had historically some other programs. Sometimes it depends. If, for example, they don't want to go to a four-year school and they know they want to go to a two-year school, we do have connections at Oakton that we try to refer them out to.
Right.
But that's mostly it, because there's not many other, obviously ETHS has its own resources as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm just asking because I like everybody else, I'm familiar with the Evanston Scholars and lots of buzz about the work that you guys do, which I think is amazing. And I, like Jessica, have a kid there too. So I was just interested in hearing that piece, like where are you resourcing them to? Because I understand the social workers are probably overabundance of kids on their caseloads trying or vying for the same things that the kids that come to you are vying for.
Sometimes, yeah, there's overlap. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a comment.
Yes,
Hi.
Ms. Mercedes.
Hi, Mercedes.
As the ETHS Latino Liaison Coordinator, I've seen many students and parents very satisfied about the services provided by your organization. I would like to know if the number of Latino students has increased in the last years or has not. Please let us know.
The short answer is yes. Liz is looking up the exact numbers, but it's been a pretty steady rise, I would say, in the last few years, for sure. Do you know the numbers?
Yeah, so I'm looking at our numbers here. In 2024, we had 39, we have 40% in 2025. So I only went back really as far for the application here for the last couple of years, but it's increased since last year. And I imagine it's increased then since even before that.
Steadily increasing, okay. I have one other
Thank
little
you.
question. And this has to do with issues of trend. You did mention Oakton Community College and some of the more local colleges that are accessible. Do you think, with the work that you do, that the trend is going to be more to the level of not a four-year college, but a trade or a two-year college? He smiled when I said
do.
that.
It's the fourth time I've answered this question
Oh,
today.
my goodness.
Can you believe that? Seriously, it's the fourth time. I can
okay.
tell you different arenas. If I hear it correctly, yes, there's lots of buzz nationally, locally. I always say this, and I used to be a teacher at the high school, so I'm well aware of, I think so, even though I've been gone for 8 years, but I still have my pulse. There's 900 plus kids, and we need a menu of resources for students. And so we like to think that we are that program for students who want to go to college. There's also, we know there's a bucket of kids who just like don't want to go. Maybe it's college not for them. There's a huge bucket in the middle. And we really want to make sure that we hit that bucket in the middle because we have plenty of evidence of students who aren't sure or they're going to be first in their family, et cetera. And they figure out that college can be affordable for them and they like make that leap. You know, at the same time, you want to go to a two-year college, awesome. But like I said, Evanston has great resources for that. It's just not really
Not your niche.
it's not, right, it's not our wheelhouse, so to speak.
Okay.
Trades, same thing. I know about the Trade Collective and other things which are wonderful in town. We are just a separate, you know, not necessarily separate, but this is what we do.
Okay.
And I'll just be honest with the 53% graduation rate in 6 years for four-year colleges at ETHS. It's not an indictment on ETHS. It's really what's going on in our country. And so we know a lot of students are still raising their hand more than we can accept. Let's say I want to go to a four-year school. So with this $30,000 grant, this is going to be amazing.
Smart man. Thank you very much for that answer. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, so I have a couple of questions. Thank you so much. Does the organization receive any funding from ETHS?
No.
I'm sorry, repeat the question.
I was wondering if Evanston Scholars receives any funding from ETHS. Okay. And since I mentioned the administrative burden, if awarded in any amount, how would the agency provide backup documentation? So, and let me say, grant disbursements typically happen quarterly. There might be some changes to that. And the requirement is that the backup documentation meets or exceeds the disbursement amount. Otherwise, staff holds back funds. And this is where the administrative burden on my end comes in.
Got it.
And I want to avoid that. And because your program is would use this money to provide stipends or to pay for what students aren't able to cover, what would that reporting look like for the city?
Well, we would be meticulously documenting, like, for example, emergency funds and hardship funds, which we already do. And so we can easily find a documentation trail for that. And the same goes with book stipends. In fact, internally, in terms of our IT system, we've actually just created a system this year to track that even easier in terms of funding.
And we have,
No, I'm sorry, follow-up questions. So are students asked to submit receipts? Are the funds paid directly to the student or the family or to the institution?
We go directly to the student. We use PayPal account. We figure actually on our side in terms of administration, through the years, 14 years, we figured out that's the best way to do it. We also know, I don't even know if it needs to be said, our students aren't asking for emergency funds unless they need it. And so it's a no, you speak of actually all the nightmare on the paperwork side. It's more of a nightmare for us to have it go directly, oops, it's like the fifth time I've done that, directly to the schools, if that makes sense, because it can be actually a lot trickier, and
You
it
get
doesn't
lost.
benefit the students themselves. Yeah.
So sorry, just in the trust but verify. So do you collect receipts from students?
No, we don't,
Okay.
just to be brutally honest.
Nope, that's
We
what.
know our
but-
students really well, we know our families, we know their financial situations, like I said, so there's, we've never really
Pray
had
to
an
the
issue or a
proof.
question about that for us. But I understand the question.
No, I know. Thank you for letting me ask the
Yeah.
rude, ugly questions. And then, if I could put you on the spot, you can provide this information later if that would be helpful. But roughly, what am I trying to say? How much does the agency expend in these emergency pots? Either in the last year or,
I know the numbers in my head, I'm trying to, like percentage-wise? What's that? It's gonna be
Sorry, no,
about
like actual numbers.
7 or 8% off the top of my head.
of the request, or 7 to
No,
8%?
did you ask for the pot that we do for emergency funds for overall budget? I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question.
Let me start again. I'm asking it poorly. If you had to approximate how much the agency spends in emergency funds annually, what would that number be, please?
It's around, I'm going to do it really quick, $60,000. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading. Forgive me. Are there any further questions from the board, from the dais? Not for them. Not for them. Okey dokey. If we do come up with more questions, of course, we will feed them to the staff, and they will articulate it to you. There may be some more questions coming up. Thank you very much for the presentation, and thank you for coming here on, two wheels in the nick of time. We appreciate that, and giving us a broad view of the program.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, if there is some misunderstanding or anything, where there's wiggle room to revisit anything, we'd be happy to do that.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right, thank you, thank you.
Have a great evening.
Well, I just ate up all of our time. Any time that we had
Yes, you
saved. I
did.
said we
Whatever
were
time we
early.
saved.
No, we're not. That was all me.
That's okay.
Connections for the Homeless is our final.
Connections to the Homeless,
presenter.
and we're doing outreach and drop-in first, and then we will be doing youth and program. Connections, are our Connections people here? Okay. She's like, yay. Hi, how you doing?
Great. How are you all?
Good, good, good. You are rounding us out this evening.
I'm grateful to be doing so. I thought that I wouldn't be starting till 9:15, so I'm so happy to be starting at 8:24. So I kind of prepared, because we are asking for both pots, both funding streams, I should say. I kind of prepared a full written blurb, but I think I'll go funding pot by funding pot, if that's okay, starting with safety net.
Okie dokie.
Thank you very much.
I'll just follow your lead. We'll waltz this through together.
Thank
Let's go.
So Connection submits our request for $150,000 of continued funding for our drop-in and outreach programs. This funding request will directly support Evanstonians served within the programs, which are both mobile and site-based in nature. Site-based drop-in programs are located within 2 facilities here in Evanston, one at our Dewey location located in the 5th Ward, and one within the lower level of Lake Street Church located in the 4th Ward. Within our drop-in and outreach programming, we served over 2,700 individuals last year, of whom 84 were Evanstonians. Our programs are designed to be no barrier and that is no barrier, and welcoming to all those who seek them out. About 1/3 of those who engage in services elect to engage more deeply by way of community case management, where individuals go through a thorough assessment and intake process to develop a housing stabilization plan, oftentimes being added to our wait list at the Margarita Inn, or the by names list, which is a coordinated list for entry into larger Cook County region subsidized housing projects. This group of Evanstonians is who we report within our safety net programming each year. So I'll reemphasize that's a third of the population that we serve by way of the drop-in and other safety net programs. The reason for that is because we don't have representative demographic information for 100% of enrolled participants, because representative demographic information is not something that we require households to provide to access the slew of no barrier services like our food pantry, showers, or clothing closet provided out of the drop-in locations. As you reviewed our application, you may have seen consistent references to the anticipated need for additional services, particularly as key subsidy programs continue to be at risk and funding for essential safeguards like SNAP and Medicaid are being dissolved. This is true, and we therefore anticipate a continual increase in demand for services within our drop-in and outreach programs, which we've seen at about a 30% increase for demand year over year since the start of the pandemic. We know that much of the increased need will be represented in the lighter touch engagement and services, but also anticipate in a continuation of an alike trend within our formally enrolled participants, AKA those we serve by way of our safety net program funding. You may then be wondering why within our application, our projected 2026 households served represent far fewer than those served in 2025 or 2024. When alerted about this discrepancy yesterday by city staff, we reviewed the submitted population served headcounts and were also confused, as this projected 17% decrease in low/moderate income participants served certainly does not reflect our known trends across these programs, including excluding the anticipated external impacts on what we anticipate to be a year of critical need for this essential program. Aside from the likely clerical issue in these projections, we would be grateful for the opportunity to submit revised estimations for total Evanstonians to staff as a supplement to our original application for your consideration. With that, I would like to thank you for your attention and for this opportunity to sustain these critical programs, and would like to open it up for questions as it relates to our safety net request.
I am opening up to the dais and our members online for questions. However, I will say in advance, I'd be very interested in those clerical corrections to be submitted to staff regarding the safety net numbers of Evanstonians. Does anyone have questions for connections to the homeless safety net? If there are additional questions, we will feed it through staff and they will relate them to you.
Thank you very much.
Part two, right?
Now, I'll get on to our case management request. Case management is a key component to almost every program at Connections. Specifically to our request tonight is our youth case management program. Our youth case management services are dedicated to transition-aged youth, which are classified as individuals who are over the age of 18 and under the age of 25 years old. Of the 127 individuals who engaged in direct service last year, 95 of them were connected to dedicated youth case management. Of the Evanston population served, of the 95 served, 62% were Evanstonians. Dedicated case management support is a key component to the success of our youth programming at Connections. Our 3 dedicated case managers meet not less than weekly with each young person enrolled in our program as they work through their individualized care plan with goals related to personal sustainability and housing. Depending on the level of care, case managers may work alongside participants on off hours or talk every single day of the week, as one of them recently was mentioning to me. Our youth case Our youth case management in particular provides a deeper level of support. For some enrolled, our team fills the role of a dedicated and reliable adult figure in their lives. With youth programs in particular, case managers serve as a key connector to additional resources like enrollment into our new work-based training program or our free in-house behavioral health care. They oftentimes fulfill the role as a mentor and more frequently as an emergency point of contact for those enrolled. We're proud of the growth in our youth programming overall, with more than 134% growth since 2021. Ahead of 2021, our Small But Mighty program operated a 6-bed site-based transitional housing program located in Evanston. Today, we still operate that project alongside additional scattered site housing units, emergency shelter beds within the community, and a dedicated youth outreach team. Today, we subsidize 40 units of temporary and permanent housing solutions, 32 of which are located in Evanston, as well as 7 emergency shelter beds in the community, which are dedicated for young people. 100% of those emergency beds are located in Evanston. We're grateful to be able to directly infuse rental assistance back into the community by way of leveraging funds from federal and state contracts. To support the staffing costs for this work, we humbly request $65,000 for the committee's consideration towards this upcoming funding cycle. Thank you for your time and consideration of our requests, and I'd be happy to answer any questions as it relates to our youth case management programs.
How long are the students in the program historically?
So it varies so dramatically. I'm sorry. So our emergency shelter program has a cap of 120 days. Most commonly, folks within the emergency shelter program are then entered into a transitional housing unit, which is a 2-year cap. Sometimes young people don't need the full 2 years, but there's a 2-year cap. There is a process to request for additional time if need be. We also have permanent supportive housing units, 8, they're new to the program. That is a permanent subsidy. So actually what's kind of neat is that the state of Illinois invested in this project, most of the project, I should say, not all the staffing is covered, to infuse resources into the community specifically for young people, that this subsidy will then follow them as they age through the system. So they won't need to enroll in a separate program. Once they turn 25, it'll just be a regular permanent supportive housing unit. So it varies very dramatically, but I would be happy if you would like for us to do kind of an average length of stay within our housing projects, which would be everybody connected to a community, to a case manager.
I'm sure that there are going to be some language challenges, some ADA challenges. Are you all addressing those as well still?
Sorry, can you rephrase that?
And challenges, body challenges.
Oh, yeah. So we have dedicated bilingual staff that are within the program that's English, Spanish speaking, and we leverage, when necessary, a language hotline that we have, that every single staff member actually at Connections has staff to at any given time. ADA compliance is, it's individual in nature. So if we were to have somebody with physical handicap that required an ADA unit, we would certainly be ensuring that they were finding a unit within an ADA compliant building. So yes, I think is the answer to your question. We're definitely accommodating as we're able.
My colleague has some questions. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you.
For sure.
In your justification for staff recommendation, it says that the requested increase to support program staff costs. What percentage of the $65,000 is going towards the staff costs?
That's right.
Going towards the staff, I'm just going to say salaries.
Yeah, so it would be spread across our 3 dedicated case managers, basically as a match to unfilled costs from other funding sources.
Right. So all of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I mean, that's compensation and fringe specifically.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, cool.
I just wanted to ask that
I'm like,
question.
if you want to see the GL.
Yeah,
can-
and on the application, well, it could be a summary error, but it says 18 to 24 on you, but you said 18 to 25, right?
Yeah, our aftercare program goes up to 25,
Okay.
but most of our other state projects are up to 24.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your answer.
For sure. That's what I'm here for. Any other questions? Anyone online?
Our colleagues online, do you have any questions?
I'd also like to invite you all to come visit our house, which is our transitional housing, one of our transitional housing buildings that's located in Evanston. I think I did the shout out this time last year, or maybe a couple years ago. But if there were ever like an appetite to come out and visit some of our programming in action, we would be thrilled to have you. So just let me know. Jessica knows how to reach me.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is that the space on Jackson?
No.
You're talking about?
I'm not going to disclose the location of the building
Okay.
right now, but it's located in the 5th Ward of Evanston. It's a residential building.
And what did you call it? I'm sorry.
Our house?
Our house.
It's the program's name.
Thank you.
For sure. All right, thanks all.
Oh, let me get back on my job. Wait, I'm at the end of the list. Oh, my goodness. Give me, I was taking some other notes, so you have to forgive me. Just give me a moment and let me get my little self together. Yeah. We are now going to go into, we have a lot of papers up here as well. At least I do. And so do my colleagues. So that's what I was doing, a little small sidebar and stuff. So if we could please have the staff report regarding, the staff report, and they will articulate from management to safety net.
Sure. Thank you so much. So this was the first hearing meeting. The second one will be October 9th. Staff will provide the agenda with the list of agencies that will be reporting and the summary of applicants. Staff also provided a brief summary of reports from case management and safety net programs and their outcomes for the first half of 2025. I'm happy to answer any questions or take notes as I can if there was any feedback about those reports, the report summaries.
Well, I could say it was great. It was a nice supplement to, the application, and it was nice to have the summaries and the recommendations from you all too. So thank you for that.
Ditto. I was very excited. When I first looked at the attachments, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be here forever. But it did go quickly and it was consistent, so it was quite helpful. Thank you. It allowed me to have some questions ready. You guys? She's like, nope.
Sure.
I'll also just add, the applications, the questions I felt were so thorough, and the applications were so thorough. I mean, that's why I hardly had any questions, because agencies were able to really dig in and share a lot, and I really appreciated that. So, yeah, thank you for that, too.
That is the product of the committee's hard work. It was hours discussing the KPIs, the key performance indicators, the evaluation sheets that SSC will use that were available online and made public to all applicants, and the application questions. So thank you guys for months, hours and months of work. Marion wanted me to mention, and she's absolutely right, that there are numbers in bold. So staff did put in bold programs that might not be on track to meeting their numbers served projections. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted, it's just a change in formatting from what we're doing. So the bolding is just to kind of bring your eyes to any piece of information that might be relevant to take a look at a little bit deeper and understand the report a little more. Usually we make a reference in the narrative, but it just gives you a little bit more context.
And I love the orange dye.
We also tried to call out programs with wait lists. So, okay, no, and then I believe that that is all for tonight.
Oh, wow.
I am happy to follow up with agencies when there were questions or when they wanted to provide additional information. I tried to take good notes. If additional questions come up from the committee members about any of the applications we've heard tonight or any of the applications that we'll hear in October, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Any comments, questions?
So, yeah, I do have, I think, a couple of questions about our process going forward. Or I guess one of my questions is, so the applicant agencies, can they still amend the request? Are we open to that? I mean, or are we at are decisions already being made in terms of what's going to be funded? I'm just not clear about what's this process. You know, we're hearing things, we're having questions. I heard that there's going to be some information clarified. You know, so might it change the staff's your recommendations, or I'm just not sure where we are in this whole process. I know we're making decisions finally in December, but it seems like we're refining these applications step by step over these next months, and I just want to know where's that going, or some of these that are not recommended, are they off the list already? Are we?
So this is a great question. I'm actually very glad.
I thought it was actually.
That you're asking
Thank
it. So staff recommendations are based on funding guidelines and previously established committee guidelines. We have said that the administrative burden for a $10,000 grant is questionable. That's not a guideline that we support. Previously, if agencies were requesting an increase to their award, then staff has asked to understand, and we want the committee to understand, how any increases would increase capacity to serve or deepen services to Evanston residents, or if it's an agency or a program that's been funded in the past, if funding weren't received, how that would create a vacuum in services. We don't want to pull the rug out from anyone. So the staff recommendations are based on guidelines. They are just recommendations. I, of course, want you to consider them, but it is 100% up to the committee. And if agencies or programs provide revised numbers or additional information that would make one reconsider, this is the public process. That's the beauty of this process and your charge and responsibility. And, you know, staff would welcome that. Our role, I believe very strongly that my role is to get the best information, to clarify anything that I may not have accurately represented in short summaries, either of program outcomes or short summaries of applications. But staff is looking at numbers projected, numbers reported, where programs can increase capacity, where we're seeing community need and demand. Yep.
I think you're also asking about kind of the funding and when is that getting decided and when will that change or anything like that. We were very careful in those application summary to use the information that was provided in the application so everybody's on the same kind of level. And to also not look at specific dollar amounts. So we kept it as a recommendation as we approve, we don't approve, we approve with a reduction, sometime with a significant one. Because this right now is the time to really clarify the application, the programs, and to give you an opportunity to understand how you might need to prioritize funding, which is the core of what we're trying to do, is probably the hardest part. So November and forward is when there might be some started conversation around dollar amounts. And by that point, the hope is that there'll be a little bit additional clarity on the budget as well, which would help guide things.
I'm sorry. I do agree that was a great question. That was a really good question. I was thinking it, but I didn't know how to word it. Maybe I'm just a little tired. But let's not dismiss the effort, Jessica. The summaries are good. They're really, really good. I just wanted to say thank you for doing such a good job on those. Right? Yeah, they're good. They're spot on, in my opinion.
If I could also add, thank you for that. And if I could also add, we ask agencies to come forward at the beginning of the application cycle with their requests. If there were any changes, I would say that would be at the call of the committee, but to set a precedent for changes would.
Yeah, if we recall, Meals on Wheels, remember the next time he came back, he didn't have the changes. You remember that? And
Correct.
He didn't present, but he kind of asked questions as his presentation. So I was thinking about that when you asked your question. I'm like, he could have came back with a different amount or a different type of presentation or whatever. You remember that? So, yeah.
Sure do.
I remember that, yeah. So,
I mean, we do have a process. We do have some time. The more that agencies are able to answer the questions, the easier we can deliberate on the recommendations. But the information being provided has to be tight so that we can make appropriate recommendations. And because our recommendations go directly to the council, and the council then tries to make sure that money goes where it needs to go and how it does, or goes forth with their process. So it's very important that we have all the information that we can to make the best recommendation we can for City Council.
We appreciate that.
I know. So with that, is there any more conversation, questions, deliberation?
no, I can say I appreciate the questions because sometimes in not your summaries, but in whatever they're presenting, it doesn't always depict what the actuality is as far as where the money is going. So I appreciate our questions.
Second
I
public
do
comment.
have a.
What'd she say?
have a-
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just wondering, so, like, for example, with Evanston Scholars, it seemed that they were caught off guard. They didn't know that was happening that way. Is that, I see a whole lot of me. I don't want to see that.
And you look amazing. Go ahead.
Right, exactly.
I'm still at work. Is that standard? So, it just seemed like they had no clue, they had missed the mark on that. Do we give them feedback prior, or is that not appropriate? As you mentioned, it seems like they'll have the opportunity to come back and now add $20,000 to the ask. Has that happened before? I'm just trying to understand, seeing this is my first time here.
say?
So I'd like to say every application cycle is a little bit unique. That has not happened in previous years. Everything that this committee does and that we do sets a precedent. Although this committee has made recommendations to City Council, and City Council has asked this committee to reconsider those allocations and those recommendations. And I would say if an agency were to request more funding based on a city guideline, there would have to be very clear there would have to be a very clear reason, a documented reason.
Yeah. There's two things. We have a general guideline of saying $25,000 is kind of the minimum threshold to make the grant worthwhile for both the agency and also on the administrative burden on our side, but mostly for the agency. It is up to the discretion of the committee. We suggest the guideline, and then the committee decide whether they're okay with that. So
yeah, no.
could
I'm not
change that.
questioning. I'm not questioning you all's philosophy on that. Not at all. My question is, do we go back? So again, they just seemed a little caught off guard. Do we go back when we see that error and say, "Are you clear?" Because do they know the threshold like we know the threshold? And do we go back as in my educator role? Something looks wrong with this. Are you sure this is what you wanted to submit? It just seemed like they were really caught off guard by that. Like, oh, wait a minute, we didn't know. We need to meet that threshold, because I think they would have written that down then. So I'm just trying to get understanding. That's all.
That's fair. And so I did see that they were under the threshold when they submitted the request, and I did not say anything to them. When they received CDBG, when they received city funding in the past, the CDBG award was for a very specific, this all goes back to compliance, right? This all goes back to compliance. When they received $15,000, it was for a very specific item in their budget. It was for the SAT, ACT test prep software, material, what have you. So that $15,000 bill was passed down from a vendor, and the city paid that. And we could do that with CDBG funds. Their population served is absolutely eligible. The emergency fund, if we were paying it with CDBG funds, I have to say that compliance would be incredibly challenging. That being said, yes, it would be impossible. I say the soft thing and Marion says the accurate thing. With local funds, we have a little bit more leeway, and we did shift our funding process away from federal funds for a whole host of reasons. And
so I'm not questioning. I want to be really clear about that. I'm not questioning. I just wanted to know, did they know? And if it was very clear in our guidelines, since I came in the middle of this, I just want to understand for myself that they missed the mark somewhere in reading our documentation. They missed the mark. They knew 30,000 was our threshold, in which we'd great. I'm not criticizing. I'm just trying to understand. So I don't want anybody to feel put off or anything, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to understand.
no, and I appreciate the question. I think it's very fair. I would appreciate the opportunity to go back and review the materials that staff provided, because that is a guideline that staff has memorized. But I cannot say with assurance to this committee that those guidelines were communicated to agencies. I would.
And also because it's a suggestion. It wasn't.
Right, yes.
And it would.
I didn't hear
it
what
would-
you said.
Right. It would also make, it may have been mentioned, but I don't know that I would necessarily have approved to have it as a requirement because the committee did not approve it. It's a staff suggestion. We give a suggestion. So the
Okay,
question
I
is
get
going to
it.
be whether
I get
it's
it.
been mentioned or not, but I don't think it would have been a requirement. But yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
That brings me to, thank you for that, Chrissy. That leads me into this. The reason why, I just wanted to say, the reason why I ask questions, like the questions I ask, is because if it's not on here, I'm trying to cut to the chase. And if the money is for the salaries, I just want them to say it. Okay, and that makes it go smoother and we can make better decisions because as you saw, not once, not twice, but 3 times the question was asked and it was, well, yeah, it's for the salaries. And I just need to hear that. So that means it's for the salaries of the EDs, direct, whatever the titles are. And it's not actually for the case managers or whatever else and whatever the services that you're mentioning on here. That's not what EDs do. That's not what the assistant EDs do. That's what the case managers do and whoever else is on the staff. So I just want to make it clear. I'm not picking on anyone or anything if it's not clear in here. And some of them said it's for the salaries. It was clearly written, you know, like whatever you put on here, it was right there. But when it's not saying that, and then the summaries is alluding to that, I'd rather the people and us hear it from their mouths. So I just wanted to make that clear. I'm not picking on nobody or none of that. I just want to make it clear. Okay, because we need to make decisions based off that. If it's like a couple years ago when SEPA came, if y'all remember Amy Kaufman came, and I just literally asked, it was a large amount of money. After 20 minutes of the presentation, I was like, well, where's this money going? And it was literally all of it except like a small percent. You remember that, Jessica? I don't know if it wasn't on this, I don't know. I don't remember who was on the committee. It was, all of it was going to Amy. All of it. So that's why I ask these questions, guys. I'm not picking on nobody.
Well, and we will have further discussion at the November meeting about guidelines, suggestions, operating costs versus funds going to direct program costs. If for agencies, I don't think that this is, if for agencies that are using city funds as pass-through or subsidies, if there's a percentage that would be allowable for administration of that.
Sure.
As an example, Child Care Network of Evanston used to, not anymore, but used to offer a scholarship program to support child care costs for income eligible families. They were receiving about 150 to 100, and the majority of that money went to direct scholarships for families, but they did request, I think, 15% of the grant for administrative costs. That's allowable, but we do want to be transparent, and the committee should have the opportunity.
That's all
to
it
have
is with
this.
me, just transparency.
Yep.
That's it. Like, cut through all the chase and let's get to it. You know, if all of it is going to the ED, you could have put that on there, or the ED and the AD, or whatever it is. Like I said, one of them, maybe two, but I know one specifically said ED and assistant director. I'm saying the wrong titles, but it did list that. I just wanted to make it clear to you guys, my colleagues here, why I was asking those questions repeatedly. That was all.
Yeah, and those are good questions. And when we do the review of all of those, we make a distinction between the program staff, whether it's case management and management of case managers, versus the leadership.
Sure.
To really kind of give a clear picture around
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
I apologize. And should that funding change? Should the allocation of grant funds change for any program? staff will call that out to the committee
Right.
in reports.
And I'm not minding it. I don't mind. I'm just saying, we all know, let's be honest here. Let's just be honest. The EDs and ADs don't do this work right here on this paper. So when it says, I mean, they might, but not at the extent of the people that we're talking about on here, the case managers, the outreach persons, or whatever else. They're not doing that. So when the money is going to them, but your description says, I guess you're telling about the program, you know, or whatever, that's different. That's very different to me. So that's where I'm at with it, and I think we're all on the same page with that part of it. But as far as giving somebody some extra money, I want some extra money. I'm not saying no to that. I'm just saying if it's all going to, trying to be very specific on record. If it's all going to EDs and ADs or whatever else, and you're not mentioning your description of doing the work, I feel like that's not fair. I just feel like it's not. We're talking about the people that's doing the work in here, what you put down. You submitted these applications. You told us who's doing what. And you didn't say that the ED and the ADs are doing the who's doing what. You didn't say that. So to me, that's not fair for them to get all of the money that you're asking when these people that's doing the work is getting 0 or 15% of it. It's just something for us to consider. That's all I'm saying.
I don't have a mic on to first. Y'all gonna have to lip read at this point. Are there any other comments for discussion? So with that, I'm going to ask because we have 2 public comments that can happen. Is there anyone who would like public comment here or online? Or has everyone left us online?
No public comment online.
No public comment online. Going once, going twice. Anyone in the audience?
Hello, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Liz Bryant. I'm with the League of Women Voters of Evanston. And I just want to say thank you so much for all your work that you're doing, and I'm here to observe, and so we'll see. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Oh, the government, you gotta watch it.
All right. Well, our next meeting is October 9th, as you all know.
Can't hear you.
I had turned off my mic again, sorry. Our next meeting is October 9th. We will be reviewing more presentations at that time. And I am so excited that we're getting closer and closer to learning more about what happens and how Evanston runs. So thank you all for coming. I would now ask that we adjourn.
I move for adjournment at 9:04.
Thank you. Can I get a second? And we have a second. Thank you very much. Please be safe going home and come back and visit us on the 9th. I appreciate you. It's good to see y'all.